Western today. It's a Western, it's a yeehaw, a tale of the American samurai, inspired by movies made by Italians from a company that made sci-fi fantasy films inspired by 1940s adventure serials. Oh yes, it's LucasArts. One of those exceptionally rare LucasArts games that has absolutely positively not a goddamn thing to do with Star Wars. So I've got no jokes.
Well, howdy, partner.
Oh my god, is that a little cowboy hat? Did someone put a little cowboy hat on you?
I put this on myself. I don't appreciate you assuming that I'm incapable of dressing myself just because we have some disagreements on...
No, it's not like that. It's because you don't have thumbs.
I have thumbs.
What?
I have great thumbs. Look, right here. I'm putting the hat on.
Katie, stop helping him and get me Star Wars clips.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh, god damn it. I can't even begin to talk about this game without mentioning its absolutely stellar production value. I only played this for the first time last year, grabbing a copy off of GOG, and having it work flawlessly under Windows 10, except for the bilinear filtering, which you can, in fact, turn off, thank God. Why did anyone think that looked good? And yes, I have read all your comments on the Half-Life video, and I will definitely be turning it off when I play Half-Life 2, I promise. When you start the game, bam, cutscenes, crushed nearly to death with compression, and you can still see all the work that went into them, including professional voice actors. James Marshall, a retired Anderson. Wait, no, that's not right. James Marsden, a retired superhero. No, wait, hold on. James Anderson, a retired U.S. Marshal played by Jeff Osterage, himself a veteran TV actor who did a ton of westerns.
I can do anything.
This isn't a build engine game, so he doesn't do much talking outside of cutscenes. But those cutscenes... 11:38, huh? Following a LucasArts logo? The only way to put any more George Lucas in this is to make the dialogue trash. No, this is just cool. The animation here is like the pixely stuff you saw in earlier LucasArts adventure games, except better, smoother, and the whole game is kinda in this style, so who cares if it's 2D in 1997?
Gentlemen, I have seen the future.
This is our villain for the game, Gentleman Bob Graham, played by veteran television actor Richard Mall, who's this guy in Night Court, but he probably deserves a better connection than that, so he was also in Superman the Animated Series as Emperor Spooge. Credits to Paul Dini in DC for writing this cum joke.
Where now there are struggling farms, I see a gleaming city rising from the parched plains. A city that has my name on it.
Cool, cool. Looks like some grim fandango leaked into this cutscene, but they hide the primitive 3D models really well most of the time.
There's some as has a problem sharing my vision. They fail to see that selling their land to me will make this county the wealthiest in the state. Well, their time has finally come. You will enlighten them.
I mean, obviously he doesn't mean kill them, but also he doesn't mean don't kill anybody. He's hiring cutthroat outlaws to do the work, so I don't know what he expects. Boom, gunshot, credits roll. And they don't remind me so much of Western movies as much as they do, you know, in that movie with the knights and the British people who do the silly things, and they have the gag credits that flash a lot, and they talk about llamas.
No python.
Fuck! Ah! Man, I usually don't like cutscenes, especially in 90s games, but this is Thief levels of quality.
My bonnet lies over the sea.
Well, you ain't heard a word I said.
She got a voice on her, almost as pretty as yours, Anna.
Here are the rules for a Western, right? If it's an old-timey Western, James's wife Anna is gonna die. If it's a revisionist Western, everybody's gonna die. If Tarantino made it, everybody's gonna die, and the little girl killed them.
Shall I write a list for you?
Nope. Got it in my head, ain't I?
You better had.
2 pounds of flour, 1 ham salted, 1 pound of sugar, fruit if they got any. Calico, 8 yards, and, if there's any cash left, some of that flowery water.
Rose water.
Yeah, rose water. I think that just about covers it.
Marshall James Anderson buying perfume. This is history.
This is marriage.
That's a quick and fairly clean bit of character introduction for everyone. Anderson is a family man who loves his wife enough to get her perfume in a time when not smelling like an unwiped asshole could get you hanged. But oh no, Dr. Death is here! No, that's what he's called. He's played by yet another veteran television actor, John Delancey.
Well,
valiant Marshal is still holding out. Now what is it the bard wrote? Cowards die many times before their deaths, but the valiant taste of death but once.
Yes, of course.
We're sent to buy their land, to persuade them, to enlighten, remember?
I always enlighten. And then I kill.
Cutting to a shot of the cute kid swinging is pretty manipulative, game. You'd better not. Oh my god, do you see the editing? Do you hear the music, the sound design? Christ, this is good.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Is the Marshal in?
He ain't a marshal no more, sir.
Mr. Anderson, then.
No, I won't do it.
I remember this. Well, we was wondering if your husband has given any more consideration to the offer that we made on this farm a couple of weeks back.
You got your answer then, I believe.
What is it the Bible says, Slim?
I don't know, Doctor.
Ah, yes. You don't never look a gift horse in the mouth.
I'm starting to think this obviously sadistic murderer doesn't know anything about the Bible.
It was a sad day for the county when you retired, that's for sure.
A man can get too ambitious.
Hell, you kill a few men before a jury gave you permission to, and they fire you.
That's bullshit. Jobs are like that, though.
You ain't a farmer, James. Your father were a farmer, and you ain't either.
My father didn't live long enough to find out what he could have been.
Yeah, his father...
Stop! I'll shoot! I will!
No!
Anna! Who did this?
They're taking Sarah. You gotta sell her. We'll never see her again.
Where did they go?
Oh, James, please.
Where did they take her?
This is so effective at conveying why you have to go and shoot hundreds of people and actually feels like a real Western. I know this video is front-loaded with a lot of cutscenes, but it's actually important to the story, and the setup, and the pacing, and all that, because that kind of disappears once you're actually in-game. Okay, but one more from later, because it's important.
I did not mean burn down the property, kill the wife, and kidnap the child.
Oh, well, I guess things just got a little out of hand. Oops.
Here's an idea, right? I'm spitballing here, just off the top of my head. You seem like you're a very smart man, so obviously I would be honored if you took my humble critique of your plan to heart. Maybe don't send Dr. Death! I gotta give Outlaws a lot of credit for pretty successfully replicating the idea of a Western gunfight as gameplay, because it isn't quite as simple as having your 6-gun and being able to fan the hammer. That is awesome, though. Even with the really low number of frames in these weapons. That's really something they could have done a little better with. Otherwise, great. Feels like LucasArts answered build engine games where instead of a quippy protagonist who quotes old movies, it's a genre pastiche where the player is silent during gameplay but has actual character moments in the cutscenes. The enemies talk, though. They talk a lot.
There he is! Get him! Where are you, Martian? No! Ah, Mr. Ice! No!
As you can see, reloading. Stinky, right? Well, it's not reloading for the sake of reloading. Like a lot of games that first introduced reloading, it helps to build tension and alter the pacing of the combat. And while it's a hindrance in some games, in Outlaws it works spectacularly. It's a little different here. See, in your average shooter, when you reload, you press R and a little animation plays, and then you go right back into running and gunning. It doesn't work like that in Outlaws. Now, you got a 6-shooter and no speed loader. One bullet at a time. Same with the rifle, the shotgun, and the double-barreled shotgun. You're asking, oh, what difference does that make? Lots. Yeah, sometimes you'll run out, and you gotta decide how much time you spend reloading, weigh it against how many cowboys you're up against, how good you shoot, and a lot of the enemies only take 1 or 2 well-placed shots from your pistol, which also plays into the Western feeling of this game. Enemies go down quick, you go down slightly less quick unless you're playing on the ugly difficulty. Yeah, I'm turning the crosshair on. But this reloading mechanic puts you so directly in control of your ammo supply that every press of the reload button feels purposeful and has impact more than any game I think I've ever played. You only want one shell in your double barrel? You got it. And it reloads as fast as you can press that button, which is crazy satisfying and makes you feel like a badass gunslinger. Managing the ammo like this makes it feel like you're always doing something. There's no getting caught by an enemy while you're reloading, because as soon as the first round is in, you're ready to go. Your single shotgun holds 1, double holds 2, your rifle holds 12 and is great. You can pick up a sniper scope for it that is also great and is credited as one of the first sniper scopes in an FPS game.
Oh, mister, I seen better shooting at the county fair!
It's not exactly what you'd expect, but it works. There's also dynamite, though it's awkward to use, and the projectile you throw is for some reason 3D and about as dynamite-shaped as most things that are not even remotely dynamite. Pick up a sheriff's badge to deputize yourself. It increases outgoing damage and decreases incoming damage, perfect for rampages. And then you hit the first boss of the game. That's right, full health to nothing. One shot, medium skill. Learn to crouch, kids.
No, please, don't shoot no more. They took her north. Said something about picking up the train at Wellington, then heading on to Cortez.
Marshall doesn't need to shoot him no more. He's learned his lesson.
Damn it! I told that fool doctor stealing your kid weren't gonna be good for anyone's health.
But killing his wife and burning down his house was fine.
It's a shame he didn't listen.
Marshall rides off to the next town and we continue to do awesome western gunslinging, which kinda requires the entire game to be hit scan hell. You're quick or you're dead, or you're dead quick. And not just death. Unlike in a lot of FPS games, Outlaws doesn't even let you take damage without fucking you over a little. Damage actually stuns you, throws off your aim, and can prevent you from reloading. But I love this level. It fits the Western theme perfectly. The shootouts between buildings where you're shattering glass and clearly blowing away bad guys from across town is great. Ducking into buildings, popping out, blasting someone in a window, it all plays really well. Watch out for civilians.
But you never shot an innocent man.
I never met an innocent man.
Go now, you're free! Fine, whatever. You may notice the heart cards on this beautiful, unintrusive heads-up display that I fucking love. You can replenish those hearts with canteens, health bottles, or portable med kits. This thing over here, though, that's another oddity for such an early FPS, a stamina meter. It's a lot more generous than stamina meters would be in future FPS games, but it still has this really annoying low bitrate panting sound when you're running for too long. Sorry, I got distracted by the music, which is also perfect. No notes. A lot of stuff in here became the norm for FPS games, except I would argue that it was done worse and for worse reasons afterwards. This game doesn't sacrifice speed. That's right, Outlaws is an immersive sim, which would explain why people barely remember it, and it has a dedicated cult following. Not really though, please don't quote me on that. Some things just stop me in my tracks and make me say, hey, that's weird. Like the swimming. The use of a crowbar as well as keys to open doors. Sometimes you can't hit things when you're aiming up. The digging. The boss of the level getting trapped down there. I like to think some of the pellets hit his balls. The awkward close-up during his cutscene.
Good shooting, mister. But you're already too late. Oops. You missed the train. Sorry.
How long this cutscene drags out the train leaving the station, even if I'm really impressed how they blended the 2D and 3D.
Get your stinking hands off of me!
Oh, did you not think we were going to get a build engine vehicle level in this non-build engine game? Oh yeah, we are, which is weird, right? Let's just talk about the levels, because I feel like if anything in this game falls short, it's the level design. But like, it's a good train level. It's all the right notes. It isn't a straight line. You go back and forth unlocking compartments with keys. I get to show off the punching a little in a game where not shooting people is usually a death sentence.
You plan better than you shoot.
Ah, it's just like wasting a Kell Dragon. The gameplay is affected because the train itself is suddenly shaking and throwing off your aim. But it's fine, it's not too bad. It's not as good as Phantom Express, but it's a valiant effort. In general, the maps don't quite have the same level of interactivity as a build game. They try. I mean, here's a wall crack you can explode with dynamite. But it's just not the same. And in general, everything is a little more flat and less detailed. And the train has the first boss where I don't immediately eat shit. Oh god, I forgot to reload the double barrel. Look at this absurd cutscene transition. In-game to cartoon. Goddamn, bravo, LucasArts. Relegating the people who made this to Star Wars games was a crime against art. It may have had a negative impact on human development. I can't hear myself think over how hard this game slaps. You want to know how talented the people who worked on this are? For one thing, I may be using the GOG version with Nglide, but this game runs on Windows 10, so we certainly have good programmers. How good? Well, one of the lead programmers was a man named Stephen Ash, and until his untimely death in 2019, he was a programmer. First at LucasArts, then at Ion Storm, then at Double Fine. Then he got hired by a little company called id Software and is responsible for a lot of the incredibly important code and mechanics in Doom 2016 and the newer Wolfenstein games, as well as anything on modern id Tech. And Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is dedicated to his memory. Pour one out for this man. That train level was one of the only deviations from the formula. Enter fortified place, kill bad guys, collect keys and or a crowbar, find the boss, kill them, and move on, interspersed with beautifully animated and voice-acted cutscenes. Marshall is having bad dreams about his father being killed until someone shoots at him, and before he can even have his morning piss, he's off to killing. Sniping mostly at first, it's very important here. Falling into a canyon to find a stash of polygonal dynamite that will be somewhat useful later, and a thing that drove me insane the first time I played this air current nonsense. You have to crouch off this ledge in order to make it into this cave. It's not intuitive, really, but once you know it, it isn't a hassle anymore. The boss is hiding in a dark cave. His name is Rattlesnake Dick Farmer. No comment. And I promise this is the first one I don't fuck up.
It's gonna take more than bullets to get what you want, mister.
Oh, we'll fucking see about that. Next up, a lumber mill.
Marshall James Anderson. Once a lawman, always a lawman. Boys, did I tell you how much I hate lawmen?
And how much you love proper mustache grooming? No, this is a lumber mill. There's no, oh. Yeah, I get it now. I think every LucasArts FPS game has to have a section where you're being pushed around by flowing water, swimming, and solving puzzles. It ain't a Note City, but I'm still calling it a sewer. It's one of the biggest levels, and it's a little confusing to navigate. This is my least favorite level, and not just because it's a sewer, it's the other stuff too. There's only like 10 levels in Outlaws, but it's a quality over quantity issue, and also the other ones released as an expansion, which are good too. These are found in the menu under the historical missions, and there sure are lots of them. So many that if you didn't get sick of playing Outlaws before, you will. Let me give you a quick rundown. First of all, Civil War is 2 levels, and is fun. Aside from some honestly disappointing attempts at environmental interaction, like blowing up this dam or using this cannon, it feels so anemic compared to a build engine game. Not much to talk about. Shoot this general and leave. Ice Caves. Don't play it. Villa, another fun one. This is still pretty much the same as the other Outlaws levels, except with some new puzzles that aren't as obtuse as you'd expect from a LucasArts game. Martial training. This is 9 maps, a hub, 5 individual maps that tell the story of James Anderson becoming a marshal by capturing these 5 bosses you face in the main campaign. This is where I learned you can punch a boss once and not kill them, and that's really useful later. I like all these levels. They may be more difficult, especially Bloody Marys. Good God, this is not cool to do with hit scanners. If you want to see the cool stuff, you have to capture your bounties alive and get a good score so you can get promoted to Marshal, or at least to Deputy. Because the Marshal level is a lot of platforming and Indiana Jones shit, and I like this Deputy level here better, even though I don't understand it.
You're gonna have to do better than laying out on my pig.
Like, here's Max. I love Max. Max, dearest of all my friends! One of these levels is a repurposed mission from the main campaign, except now it's nighttime. Wharftown is the final test of my patience and the last level I played overall. I don't know what's wrong with the water movement when it's flown in a certain direction, but God is it frustrating. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
I did not mean burn down the property, kill the wife, and kidnap the child.
Oh, well, I guess things just got a little out of hand. Oops.
Out of hand! Now I got a crazed father after me and his little brat out back. Now you got me into this mess. You get me out of it.
Well, Mr. Graham, all my medical training says that you can't reason with a crazy man.
Oh, well, there you go. We got an expert medical opinion from the guy who was sawing off people's legs when they kicked a cactus and then gave them some whiskey to balance their humors. Shut the fuck up, Q.
So, kill him!
That is music to my ears. Consider it done.
Yeah, pretty evil.
And I'll kill the girl.
Whoa, jumped right into the child murder. This is Bloody Mary. She might be more evil than someone called Dr. Death.
No, Mary. I don't murder children.
Yeah, he doesn't murder children. Dr. Death leads the Marshal into the mines, the darkest level in the game, not because of all the talk of child murder, because it's actually really dark, and I have to use the lantern a lot. I would really like it if we stopped talking about child murder. Speaking of child murder, Bloody Mary's here too.
You're gonna have to do better than that, out on my pig.
Okay. Dr. Death is guarded by a lot of guys, and I die, so I take a more surgical approach, by shooting him right in the ass. Or his hand, yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Hey, you, Marshal, pull me out of here. Marshal, you hear me?
I hear you, Doctor. And I ain't no marshal. Now, if you know what's good for you, you're gonna start talking and tell me what I need to know.
Well, I'm a man of information. A veritable man. Get it?
Where's my little girl?
She ain't here.
I can see that.
Well, praise be to the Lord, the man can see. Now we're talking. You know, I have a proposition. If I tell you where she is, will you let me go?
That depends.
On what?
On if you tell the truth.
She's hid away in the cliff dwellings 10 miles south of Dogsville. That's the gospel truth, I swear on my mother's grave. If she had one. Now pull me up!
If you're right, I'll be back.
Hey, you can't leave me down here. Pull me up right now. You son of a bitch. What's your wife's name? What is it? You know, I kind of liked her. She smelled sweet, that woman. Like a rose.
Well, Dr. Death, nice knowing you. There's really only one way for you to live up to your name now.
Die.
We'll miss you, John Delancey, even if you're still in a Star Trek show playing the same character again, because nothing ever really changes anymore. We'll just do the same shit.
CV-11, it is time for your enhanced interrogation.
Hey, I thought maybe we could switch things up, and this time I could put the bamboo under your fingernails. How about that?
Code Gray, level 105, authorizing emotional destabilization.
Oh, that's adorable.
Your hairline is rapidly receding. Your consumption of tobacco products is unlikely to kill you before the interrogation. You are an abrasive, unpleasant person who is incapable of meaningful connections due to an undiagnosed personality disorder that will cripple your relationships for the rest of your life. A man you killed was going to develop an artificial spine that would give millions the ability to walk. You get no bitches.
Yeah!
So the canyon is a trap. Old Dr. Death got us one last time. As a penultimate level, this is pretty good. It's big, challenging, full of cool secrets. Plays with the level formula a little bit by having you collect stones and bring them to a place and do some minor switch puzzles the game gives you the answer to. Fine, cool. Once you've taken care of the boss...
The doc set you up.
Yeah, I figured.
You walk right into our trap.
Yeah? You ever get the feeling that they spent their animation budget, so now we have these close-ups with a static background that could be anything?
You're lucky, mister. Your kid's alive.
Where?
Bob Graham. Big Rock Ranch.
Can't even get there without being knocked out in a cutscene.
I think the boss is going soft. He should have shot them both.
I reckon the boss is wanting to run for mayor. Don't want any blood on his hands.
I mean, I guess, but I think a politician can probably get away with that, right? This level takes all your weapons away, and oh man, will you miss them for the 30 seconds they're gone. Cool mansion though, fun fights, a little bummed that the basement you need to get into is a secret. Like you have to open a bookcase and then pull a thing that does not look like a switch, and then... Wait, a Gatling gun? In the Wild Wild West? Sure, but it's stationary, so it's kinda hard to use the thing. As soon as it's selected, you're stuck there. Once you get a key to the room the Gentleman Bob is hiding in... Of course, right behind the bulletproof curtains in front of the exposed window, it's genius! But remember what that farmer a rattlesnake dick said.
It's gonna take more than bullets to get what you want, mister.
Yeah, he's still wrong. And he's still alive for a final cutscene. I mean, I did only shoot him 79 times.
You afraid of dying?
Oh my god, Gentleman Bob killed Anderson's father. It's crazy how small the Wild West truly was, and Kid Anderson couldn't shoot him.
And now I'm gonna shoot you.
Not the snappiest line to go out on, man. And the cycle of violence continues. They ride off into the sunset, and after that amazing game with underwhelming bosses, I think the moral of the story is always remember to murder the children. Gentleman Bob didn't do it, and he paid the price. Oh god, is that what I'm ending the episode with?